Behind me is a door. Behind that door is a Yamaha Virago that I've been hiding for a little bit. Welcome back to the channel, where once again I reveal another new motorcycle that I bought. A little heavier than I remember, but here it is. This is a 1981 Virago. No battery in it right now. It's kind of just being cold stored behind that door there. Kind of accidentally bought this bike. Let me run you through the story of how this went down. So accidentally is obviously a pretty strong word, but it was one of those things that the bike came up for sale. It was the right price, and it made sense that, hey, it's a good price, but if I threw a low ball at like this, I would go and buy it. So, well, threw a little bit of a lowball, nothing like too crazy, but ended up making a deal on it. As you guys know, if you are followers of the channel, I have two Viragos right now other than this one. One is a parts bike that I am using parts for to make a cafe racer, and the second one is the cafe racer that we have taken apart. That bike's kind of just on the back burner right now, trying to find pieces, source a couple other things for the bike in order to get to the next step. But this bike kind of has endless potential as far as anything else goes. It's a stock Virago. It has a couple dings, dents, and a little bit of rust showing because it sat outside in Wisconsin for about a year and a half or so, so it was a little neglected, but it actually does run and start. We'll see if I can get it to fire today, fingers crossed, but no promises. If you guys are wondering about the Yamaha Virago in particular, the Yamaha Virago is a bike that is a V-twin, 750 cc's, and it has a monoshock. When the cafe racer projects really became a big thing, monoshocks were huge. Everyone wanted to take bikes that had suspension on the sides and swap them to monoshocks. But this bike came with one from factory. Something else that came from factory was it has a removable rear subframe. So basically this entire portion behind the tank that holds the seat up comes off the bike with just a couple of bolts. You don't have to chop or weld or do anything crazy. You can simply just remove the rear subframe and add your own custom rear subframe, making it one of the easiest bikes to make into a cafe racer. Now this Virago is completely bone stock, and whether I just use a couple parts and pieces off of it and end up, fixing it up, making it run again because we bought it non-running, and sorting some paperwork issues out with the bike and selling it, or doing something else crazy like potentially making it look like a Vincent, which is something they did on the Cafe Racer show, and they called it the Vinago. Now, that is Billy Joel's bike. There's not a whole lot of information about that, but it seems pretty simple and straightforward. This could just be a bike that we keep bone stock. I don't really care for the Virago's bone stock, to be honest with you. There's a lot of other bikes I would ride bone stock before I would ride a stock Virago. There's a little bit of gas left in the gas tank. Let's see if it'll turn over and if we can get the bike running and listen to it, because it ran pretty good before we parked it. Fingers crossed it still runs good. Now ideally I should have drained the gas tank before I parked it for winter, but the gas tank's already kind of rusted a little bit, so it's not the worst thing in the world. One awkward thing about the Virago is right here, if you come and take a look at it, the battery is very awkward. Like, this is not for the Virago, so it's going to be a little awkward to mount. Virago batteries are supposed to be very wide and kind of stubby, so I hope I can make this fit, because I don't have a battery for this bike. There's fuel from both sides that we put this way. Don't judge me because the starter's loud. Viragos do that. It's okay. It might sound like it's broken, but it's not. But pull the choke. That's a starter, by the way. Viragos are notorious for that sound. It wants to stay started, but it doesn't at the same time. Keep the RPMs high. The needle doesn't quite want to work. A little smoke. Nothing too bad. It's been sitting for a while. Yeah, I got it running though. Would it be greedy of me to go take it out for a ride? Maybe. Are we gonna try? Why not? It's been a while since we've been on GoPro cam, but I think the objective is going to be get the bike started, get the bike on, and just send it. I think that's a great idea. The clutch has a very high bite point. I stalled it there, by the way, but not because I don't know how to ride, but because the clutch isn't grabbing correctly. It doesn't want to roll on its own power. I don't know whether the clutch is sticking. It is a little bit. The bite point is very high, which needs to be adjusted. But I'm trying to see if I can even just get it around the house. I'm not sure what's going on. Whether the clutch is fried, which could be possible, because I let the clutch out, and the bike kind of wants to go, but also not at the same time. I'm gonna pull it in front of the garage and see if I can get on like level pavement, and that might help it. But I can confirm it is the clutch. I got the bike up by the house down there and I actually rode it. It's the clutch, and the more I use it, the more it's working, and the more the bike's running, the more it's working. Things do not like to sit. Machines don't like to sit, people. Let's go for a ride. I'm excited. Smoke. So what? It's running good though. I never realized how fast these bikes were. It has a good amount of power. That's a fun bike. I can feel the front end, whether it's the tire or the brake, wanting to like cut me loose. But it feels good. It's not bad for less than $500. That's as much as I'll say. I don't remember exactly how much we paid for it, but it was less than 500. And she's running pretty healthy. I've turned the gas off, and I'm gonna let the bike drain. The carburetor's empty, and take all the gasoline out of the carbs before I turn it off. But I cannot express how fun it was to go out and take a bike out on a little ride. Obviously I went around the corner. I didn't go far because the bike doesn't really have brakes. Most of the smoke has like it's firing on both cylinders, pretty healthy. Overall, it's looking good. Alright, I've shut the bike off, and that was my first time ever actually riding a Virago running on all cylinders, or both cylinders I should say, and first time riding a Virago that anything resembled a stock bike, and it actually has a lot of power. I never realized quite how fast this bike was. I'm thoroughly impressed with how well it pulled, and it was actually quite comfortable. It might look kind of dumb. I think these handlebars look kind of dumb, but it actually is pretty comfortable. It's all about personal preference. Some people probably love stock Viragos. I'm just not one of those guys. The clutch is grabbing. I smelled clutch before. The reason I kept stalling it is not because I don't know how to ride, but it's because, I mean, the bike's been sitting for 2+ years. That was probably the first real ride it's got in a long, long time. We fired the bike up, we got it started, but we didn't ride it because we heard it run and we're like, why bother, right? Very enjoyable, and definitely will put some miles on this bike come springtime, and honestly I might just get bored one of these days and pull the bike out, fix the front brake, fix the clutch issue, and just ride it around a little bit more, because it's still winter and I don't want to take the nice bikes out. It's a nice bike, so I might sell it. Don't know the future plans with it, but I thought I would introduce yet another new bike, new to me bike, in the collection that you guys have not seen. If you guys are new here and want to see the rest of the collection, I have over 25 bikes right now. I've lost count, but I'm revealing all of them in this playlist right here. Click there, go check out the other bikes, let me know what you guys think, and make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss any future content.